Alright everybody, welcome back. February 1st, 2023. And if you remember from yesterday's video, we were talking about and watching Comet Machholz, which I failed to name in the first video. That's actually the name of this comet, making its way towards the sun. And we have some new video to take a look at to actually see the progression of this. And also, I've learned that this thing comes by every 5.3 years. So there have been other passings of this comet. And I actually found that comet on HelioViewer by backtracking to 2017, which is the last time this comet made an approach towards the sun, but it's only seen within a few frames because of the angle and trajectory of it at that time. Clearly, this pass we're looking at right now is much clearer. We could see every bit of it, but we also took a look at some weird anomalies that were taking place. And oh, trust me, I found another one that seems very odd. The timing of it is incredible. We'll take a look at that in just a moment, but this thing is causing CMEs left and right. In fact, the biggest of which just took place hours ago. This thing was massive. I mean, take a look at this blast. This is a huge CME that came off the sun because of this comet. It's actually been proven, and I spoke about this yesterday, even Suspicious Observers channel mentioned this, that as these comets approach the sun begins to react. And take a look at this chart here just to give you an idea of how big this latest CME was. Luckily, this was not Earth facing. In fact, Earth is the yellow dot you see to the right, and this basically fired off the back end of the sun, but the point is that this comet is the reason for it. So basically, this entire event is just awesome and very unique. The size of this and the trajectory it's taking is somewhat rare. You don't see these too often. And this thing will in fact make its way around the sun and survive and return in another 5.3 years. Now, I want to show you an interesting anomaly I found to add on to the ones from the video from yesterday. I highly recommend you go check that video out once you're done watching this one. And again, I'm not trying to play the conspiracy game here, but there are just certain things that pop out to me that I just can't ignore. Alright, so this is very interesting. I want you to keep an eye on the time down here because I'm going quite literally frame by frame here. So I want you to pay attention to this area right here on both of these charts. You're going to see a line appear, and I'm going to get to that right now. This is the next frame. This line appears in both the regular and the negative version, meaning that there is something there, whether it's some sort of space rock streaking across the sky, whatever this may be. And you get this little anomaly down here too, but this is nothing compared to some of the ones I found. But when you take a look at this line, it's almost as if it pops up and then disappears just as this massive CME erupts. And this is the last frame we have as far as current data, or I'd show you more. If I backtrack here, you can see again, I'll go backwards. Here's that line in the negative frame, then I go back one more time and you can see it here in the blue frame. Now, the reason this stuck out to me, if you throw this into paint and you actually take a line and you draw this and match it up to the comet, this thing is exactly lined up with the front end of the comet, as you can see right there. That alone is just very odd. And now as we go back to the frame by frame, it makes a little more sense as to why the timing of this is so interesting. This line pops up directly in line with the comet, and then this massive CME takes place. By far the biggest one this comet has caused thus far. Just take a look one more time. Line pops up directly in line with the comet, and then explosion right off the sun. Just some very odd timing and incredible things being captured on the LASCO C3 camera. Alright, and what I'm going to do now is play that section of the video from yesterday just to show you the anomalies I was talking about. Of course, I highly recommend you go watch that full video, but when it comes to anomalies, this was the best part. A lot of weird things happen leading up to this comet being in view of the LASCO C3 camera. I'm going to do that now. Here we go. Now, as I said earlier, some weird things happen leading up to the comet entering the view of the satellite camera, and I'm going to slow this video down so we can get each screenshot, and here is the first of those before it even enters frame. As you can clearly see, this grouping of lines, or could be meteors, a group of meteors, seems to be passing in front of or behind the sun. Now, I've caught these many times, and it is very interesting. Now, not only is it captured on this version of the LASCO cameras, but it is also caught in the negative version, meaning that these objects are actually there. More than likely a grouping of meteors traveling in front of, or as I said, behind the sun. But again, I want your thoughts on what you think these may be. I've heard everything from ships to some sort of advanced technology, almost in a weapons type idea. And for those of you that follow me closely, I find these types of things around the sun all the time in all the different satellite cameras. Some of the craziest images you'll ever see, in fact. And I don't want to get too crazy on you, but nonetheless, this is a very interesting shot, specifically because these things are happening right before the approach of the comet. Now, here is the next shot. As we continue the original video, it should be showing up right about now. And you can clearly see the comet is still not in view yet, and there's another one that comes while the comet is making the approach, but this one has some sort of tail breaking off behind it. It's got an odd shape. It could be some sort of space rock breaking up, but again, I've been told in comments in past videos where I cover these things, it could be some type of ship or technology we don't know about yet, but the fact that it's being picked up on both the positive and negative cameras is what really sticks out. Now we're taking a look at the C2 camera. We were looking at the C3, but check these out. Both popping up at the same exact time, and both big enough to where, in my opinion, these are not camera glitches. Who knows what these things might be? There have always been talks, specifically in the UFO community, that there are ships that harness the energy of any sort of sun eruption, CMEs, and sometimes we get some amazing views, just like I showed you in the pictures before this, of these things all around our sun, specifically during high solar activity. Alright, and as I keep this in real time, we're moving through the video, and the last of our anomalies is about to pop up. There it is. Now, I assure you, this is not a sun flare, and I'll prove that by playing the rest of the video once we talk about this. Now, as you can see, that big chunk that almost looks like a CME, that's actually a whole separate object. There is no CME taking place at this point, and then we almost get like a tube shape with a centerpiece connecting the two of them. Now, that is also interesting because it's rare to see anomalies of this size taking place at any time, but again, I feel like this has to do with the fact that the approaching comet is affecting the sun and could possibly, I say possibly strongly, could be leading or drawing in a ship of some sort, or multiple ships, as we can see, that want to harness the energy of these CMEs. I know it sounds crazy to some people, but if you do enough research, there are plenty of videos out there. In fact, there's a famous one where a big giant ball looks like it's connected to the sun and then pulls away, and you can almost see a plasma detachment as if that's how this thing was being refueled. It's a famous video on YouTube. I've played it before, but again, just to show you that there are anomalies around the sun constantly, and in some cases they get blocked out if caught quick enough. But since we watch these cameras on a regular basis, we usually catch them before that happens, and that's why sometimes we get these amazing videos. And finally, just to show you that that last one was not a CME, you're going to see this in real time. I'll play it a couple times just so your eye can catch it, because it happened so fast, there's no way it was a CME. Here it comes again. Watch closely. Boom. And then one more time as the video plays through, it's going to reset. And finally, there it is again. So absolutely no CME in this video. That is some sort of anomaly that we need to figure out, and I've been trying to figure out for years now. All right, my friends, and that's what I got for you for right now. This is the most updated data we have for this comet. There might be a couple extra frames by the time this video is actually posted, but nonetheless, it made its closest approach on the 31st. We have technically reached Perihelion with this comet, and we're going to continue to follow it until we can no longer see it. And I hope to see you all here for that video as well. Shout out to Canada. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all, and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.